scientists are at a loss to explain what is causing this weather and why it has taken them by surprise.
That sudden drop in temperature has half an hour ago. Mexican officials closed the border in the line of so many U.S. refugees.
We prepare to go live to Los Angeles.
What you see is happening now.
Look over there behind me! That's a tornado! Yes, a twister!
This is just massive.
I'm at that address, serving up unit.
You don't touch me.
Hey, man.
No, you don't touch me.
When I tell you to take your hand out,
I've done nothing. Nope.
you need to relax.
What have I done? Why'd you get out of your vehicle?
You're taking a picture of me?
But you can see that minivan that is on the street next to it, just to give a comparison as to how big that sinkhole is. It looks like it has to be a good 25 feet across and several feet deep.
Acá se te cayó Juanito. Le cayó a Juanito.
Amazing video of a lightning storm over Chicago, captured from the rear of a United Airlines flight moments after takeoff from O'Hare Airport. A virtually unbroken pattern of illumination showcasing the clouds for a captive audience in the sky.
Big hole opening up in the ground.
This is Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Look at this.
You see the street and you see the great big hole. This apparently just happened.
Jim is overhead in Skyfox HD. Is there a car in that sinkhole?
There is no sign of a car, but you can see that minivan that is on the street next to it, just to give a comparison as to how big that sinkhole is. It looks like it has to be a good 25 feet across and several feet deep, at least 10 feet deep. You can see some of the pipes that are underground. The sinkhole goes well below some of those pipes. Now, this is 5th Avenue and 64th Street in Brooklyn. The fire department has closed down the entire intersection. At this point, nobody's allowed to get close to it.
Except that one guy.
Will have to come into the scene.
It
does appear we have seen firefighters walking around. That person does have an insignia on the back. Looks like it says NYPD, so they might be documenting the situation. Nobody was injured as far as we know. We don't know if there's any impacts on water lines or gas lines, sewer lines in the area. But again, crews, fire department and other crews now coming into the scene to assess the situation and how to deal with this. Greg, Rosanna, back to you.
That's amazing. I mean, nobody was hurt. No cars are in that sinkhole. I mean...
Well... Lucky, I guess.
Lucky.
Some of those pipes, by the way, I bet they'll turn out to be like 100 years old. All right, Jim, thank you. We'll check that.
Not for 30 years, say officials, has Russia suffered a plague like this. Vast areas of the country's agricultural south are seeing swarms of locusts devour entire fields. Officials say at least 10% of crops have already been destroyed. It's devastating the livelihoods of local farmers like Pyotr Stepanchenko. Look, he says, there's nothing left on the corn. The locusts ate it all, from the leaves to the cobs. Officials from the Russian Ministry of Agriculture say they're stepping up efforts to save the harvest, declaring a state of emergency and spraying the crops with powerful pesticides. But officials admit the locust swarm is moving too fast across southern Russia.
Kalmykia, Astrakhan, Volgograd, Dagestan, there is no more food left for locusts there, so they have flown to a new source of food. They have wingspans of nearly 12 centimeters, like small sparrows.
Some frustrated locals have posted videos of themselves trying to hold back the tide. But it all seems futile in the face of such an overwhelming Russian swarm. Matthew Chance, CNN Moscow.
Qué increíble realmente, wow, parece un río.
Amazing video of a lightning storm over Chicago, captured from the rear of a United Airlines flight moments after takeoff from O'Hare Airport. A virtually unbroken pattern of illumination showcasing the clouds for a captive audience in the sky. The lightning display was just a part of a severe thunderstorm blanketing the Chicago area on Sunday, adding 60-mile-an-hour winds and golf ball-size hail to the region. I'm Matt Sampson, The Weather Channel.
Two trains swept from this bridge after that terrible and horrifying accident. The death toll is certainly rising there.
Yes, it is, Christy. The latest number we have is about 27. It may rise a little bit more than that. The government so far has been working overnight through all of today, trying to help people, to rescue people from both of these trains. Remember, this accident took place in the middle of the night. What the Railway Ministry has said so far is that it was pitch dark, there was a sudden flash flood, and really it wasn't the fault of the train driver. The tracks gave way, the trains then collapsed, they fell into the water, and that's why so many people have died. I should add, though, this isn't entirely unusual. India has a number of train accidents every single month, and these collectively often add up to hundreds of lives lost every year.
That the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he has expressed concern about the flooding disaster there. He's also offered condolences to the people of India. But what is his government doing to mitigate this disaster and to save lives?
Well, so in central India, where we've seen the train derailments, they've been, mobilizing the police, the ambulances, the fire services, the army as well, trying to make sure that they can rescue as many lives as possible. So that's more of an ongoing kind of emergency situation. A very different scene that we're seeing in the eastern side of India, in the states of West Bengal and Odisha, which were ravaged by this cyclone Koman over the weekend. There, the government has had to set up thousands of relief camps because entire villages are submerged. So the situation there, very different. And lastly, in Western India, we also have a number of floods. Those floods caused not by cyclones, but by regular monsoon rainfall.
These floods are hitting vast areas of India. Why are we seeing such devastation? What has made these parts of India so vulnerable to such massive flooding?
Well, there are a few things here. On the one hand, this is a lot of rainfall. A lot of rainfall coming very, very quickly all of a sudden. That's one thing. But I should add that if the same amount of rainfall were to hit, say, central London or New York, you wouldn't have this number of deaths. And the reason why you're seeing these deaths in India, to the extent that you are a number of reasons. I mean, number one, India is very, very densely populated. So a lot of people, the infrastructure in general, very, very weak. So poorly constructed roads and railway tracks, bridges that are very weak, that can collapse. In remote parts of India, mud homes that are easily washed away and submerged. So all of those factors, which are larger infrastructural issues across India, those are the reasons why we're seeing so many lives lost.
What we do know is that yesterday a U.S. military drone armed with a missile conducted the first airstrike, lethal airstrike, out of one of those bases in southern Turkey into northern Syria. This is a result of both countries coming to an agreement that the U.S. military can have access to those southern Turkish bases. That puts them much closer to their targets in northern Syria. What we don't know at this hour is what the target was. There's two potential options here. Either the U.S. flew against an ISIS target, or it was another strike to try and defend those rebels, those U.S.-backed rebels in northern Syria that have come under attack from that al-Qaeda group known as al-Nusra. The U.S. flies offensive strikes against ISIS. They just find the target and go against it. But if those rebels have come under attack again from al-Nusra, the U.S. might have conducted a defensive strike, even though that's not typically what has happened in the past. But what's really important here, the first strike, this puts ISIS on notice in northern Syria that the U.S. has a very quick ability to be very close by and come after them. The next step in the coming days will be to have manned U.S. fighter jets in the air ready to drop their weapons over northern Syria. A very odd incident indeed, but a U.S. defense official has told us and confirmed details. Apparently, and it was 2 weeks ago, but apparently in the Gulf of Aden, off of Yemen, a place that is a very hot combat zone right now, an Iranian warship was a couple of hundred yards away from a coalition warship, not a U.S. ship, but a U.S. military helicopter had just landed on that coalition warship when they looked over and saw the Iranian military ship pointing a weapon at them, apparently a gun on deck, believed to be a machine gun, that's what these typically are, was pointing at the U.S. military helicopter and the warship. But then they noticed something equally bizarre. Apparently there was a camera crew of some sort right next to the gun that was pointing at them from the Iranian warship. So as the defense official told me, we don't know what was happening, he says. You know, were they taking a vacation snap? Were they filming some sort of propaganda video? Here we are, you know, pointing our weapons at the Westerners. Was some Iranian sailor on that ship, you know, taking a sort of selfie to send to his girlfriend? It all ended without incident. The U.S. military helicopter flew away. Everybody was fine. But it does underscore how quickly things can potentially spin out of control. This one thankfully did not, but still is not to be regarded lightly when an Iranian warship points its weapon at the U.S. military.
Chino, acá se te le cayó a Juanito. Le cayó a Juanito.
It's the start of a new crackdown on the imported Western foods Russia has branded illegal. This, a 150-ton cargo of bacon seized at the border with Belarus and incinerated
выработав в Дании.
It was produced in Denmark, says this Russian agricultural official, and was meant to be sold on the territory of Ukraine, not Russia. Documents appear to confirm the Danish source, but there's outrage that at a time of economic hardship, this perfectly good food will be destroyed. One online petition, signed by tens of thousands of Russians, calls for seized products to be distributed to the needy, like pensioners or the unemployed. Well, it's been more than a year now since the Kremlin banned imports of some Western foods, retaliation for sanctions imposed by the West over the crisis in Ukraine. But from the outset, quality Western products have been smuggled in and discreetly sold at high-end supermarkets like this one. With the new Kremlin crackdown, though, that may no longer be tolerated. Already one Kremlin-backed youth group called Rushki, or Little Pigs, has been highlighting the violations, raiding the stores still stocking Western food. These nuts are on a list of banned products, this activist tells the cameras. It means they were not certified, and so they might be dangerous, she warns. But critics say the real danger may be enforcing the food bans so strictly, with the risk of inflating Russian food prices even higher. Matthew Chance, CNN Moscow.
A powerful Pacific storm is bearing down on Taiwan this morning. A NASA image shows the massive super typhoon named Sodeler from space. Seth Doan is in Taipei, where the deadly storm is expected to make landfall within hours. Seth, good morning.
Good morning. The winds are picking up, and we're beginning to feel the outer bands of this powerful storm, the strongest to threaten Taiwan in years. We've seen windows taped up here as Taiwan braces for the impact of Typhoon Sodeler, which has left a path of destruction through several islands in the Pacific. Here we have seen authorities evacuating some residents. Fishermen have returned to port with their boats, and the Coast Guard is not only patrolling the coastline, but also offering lessons on saving lives at sea. This as tens of thousands of soldiers are on standby for disaster relief, because typhoons are known to trigger landslides on this mountainous island. Nora?
All right, Seth Doan in Taipei, thank you.
A magnitude 5.5 earthquake has shaken eastern Congo, killing 2 children. The tremor struck near Bukavu, the capital of South Kivu province. The victims lost their lives after a house collapsed. Buildings in the quake zone were also damaged.
Our week-long flooding coverage. Governor Rick Scott has declared a state of emergency in 3 Bay Area counties. Now, this will allow people in really hard-hit places like Pasco County to get some financial help. ABC Action News reporter Corey Deerdorf joins us live from one of those hard-hit communities in Pasco. Corey, what do you know?
Good morning. We're off of Celtic Drive in the Elfhurst community, where for the first time in weeks, people here are able to breathe a sigh of relief, not only because the water has gone down, but what's behind me here. For the first time, some people are going to be able to take a hot shower and get a hot meal. And that's huge for people in affected areas, because some of them might have not had those meals or showers for days. Those feeding and showering stations will be located in 2 different areas right here at Celtic Drive and State Road 54, as well as Bass Lake Drive and Wicker Lane. The showers and meals start around 11 a.m. this morning. That state of emergency you mentioned gives 5 counties, including Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough, increased funding to support cleanup efforts and emergency responses weeks after heavy rain. Now, people in this Elfhurst community are only seeing sludge and some minor debris in and around the roadways after the Anclote River has gone down. All of them sighing a big sigh of relief and trying to get back to normal as they start this cleanup process. In Elfhurst, Corey Deerdorf, ABC Action News.
I've done absolutely nothing, no. Put your gun down, really? Clearly didn't like that I was pointing my camera to videotape him. He thinks he's being funny now.
Hi. Go take your hand out of your pocket. Okay?
No, sir, I haven't done nothing. I've done absolutely nothing. No.
Hey, seriously.
Put your gun down, really?
Edward 10. Start me another one.
This one's really got a gun at me. No. You don't touch me. You don't touch me.
I'm at that address. Start me another unit.
You don't touch me.
Hey, man.
No, you don't touch me.
When I tell you to take your hand out.
I've done nothing.
Okay.
Nope.
You need to relax.
What have I done? Why'd you get out of your vehicle?
You're taking a picture of me. I'm taking a picture of you.
Take a picture and leave.
Okay. I don't have to leave.
Neither do I.
So, I told you to take your hand out of your pocket. I just want to make sure you don't have a weapon.
You know I don't have a weapon on me.
Okay. I don't know that.
You do that. I'm completely clear. Wrong. You have your gun out because you're a police officer. You're trying to intimidate me, and this is going all over YouTube.
What's wrong with you?
Your station is corrupt.
Oh, okay. Are you some kind of a constitutionalist?
No, sir.
Crazy guy or something like that? Is that your?
Is that what you're going after? Is that where you're going?
I'm
Are you throwing claims around?
Good afternoon. A river of orange is now flowing into New Mexico after the accidental release of mine waste. The big question, what is in that water? Many are demanding answers, including the governor of New Mexico and the Navajo Nation. This is what the Animas River has been transformed into. The contaminants flowed through Durango and across the New Mexico state line overnight. That Animas is the main feed into the San Juan River. It has prompted communities along the route to shut off valves leading to their water supply, drinking water. But right now, no one knows exactly what that orange sludge contains. An alert from the Colorado Department of Natural Resources cited it as possible zinc and iron, but we've received no official declaration from the EPA, the agency behind that spill. They do say that about 1 million gallons of wastewater was accidentally released by their workers during a cleanup of the abandoned Gold King mine in Silverton. Navajo Nation officials are demanding answers, saying it could not only affect people, but animals and farms. Residents are concerned.
They're supposed to be responsible for cleaning it up, not making this mess.
Right.
So it puts a damper on all our industry of the recreation industry.
Now, we have learned this water will not reach the Rio Grande, even though we do get part of our drinking water from the San Juan tributaries. Now, that orange line is where the contamination is flowing west through Farmington, Arizona. We get our water from farther east, that red circle there near Chama. That is an area that will not be hit by this pollution. Now, until we know what is in the water, officials are telling people to stay out of the river. We do have crews up in the Farmington area where a lot of tests are being done and efforts are underway to protect that drinking water supply. We'll have much more from them coming up later on News 30.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un does things his own way, as you know. Well, now his government is creating its own time zone. Clocks will be pushed back 30 minutes under Pyongyang Standard Time, which takes effect August 15th. That's the 70th anniversary of Korea's liberation after Japan's surrender in World War II. The government says it is scuttling the current time zone because it is a legacy of Japanese imperialist crimes.